Well, hey, you guys, I am so excited about today's episode because my guest today is one of the people I love to talk to, I love to read, I love to listen to. Marcus Buckingham is here. He is a researcher, a New York Times bestselling author, and founder of Strengths Revolution. So, Marcus, thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Well, we chatted a little bit on the phone, I guess almost a year ago, for my new book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money. And I kind of picked your brain around psychology and the way we view money, everything from our childhood to our fears to our dreams, all of it. So I'm just kind of curious from you on a high level, when you're in the world of psychology and when you're thinking of the way people function and the way they act, how has money played a role in people's lives in a positive way in our world today, in our culture?
Well, obviously, it's a way to enable our dreams, isn't it? We all want to project into the future. That's part of the human condition. It's probably what makes us different from the animals, is that we can project into the future and find meaning in that future. And we feel unquestionably better, healthier, more positive well-being when we feel like we have some ability to control that future and actually create out of that future the dreams and the hopes and so forth that we want. Money's a part of that. We have to be able to understand, though, what role it plays as a means to an end rather than an end in itself, as you well know. Having piles and piles of growing piles of money in some sort of stockpile isn't really going to give your life any more meaning or purpose at all. We know that meaning comes from projections into a better future. And when we can do that through relationships, through our families, through the dreams we have for them, through our achievements and the dreams we have for those things that we want to achieve, our lives have much more fullness to them. And of course, money is a means to that end. When it slips over into something else, then we're into a whole other different ball of wax. But if we can see it as part of our arsenal, part of our tool set for creating a better future, it's incredibly psychologically healthy.
Yeah, I love that. That's exactly what we talk about this show all the time, is that money's a tool to help you create a life that you love. So use it as that tool. Don't use it as the God that you're sitting there to worship. And the means to the end, because we do live in a culture, and I even will watch shows, on Netflix or TV or something, and I'll just see these people and you can tell they are just chasing after success and getting that next paycheck and money, 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 money. And you see their lives develop. And again, I'm thinking TV specifically, but I know real life and walking with people. And I'm like, man, it can negatively impact you in so many ways when that becomes the means to the end. So what have you seen with people psychologically, like the loss of relationships, maybe the loss of drive or dreams, when money negatively impacts them because they are so obsessed thinking that if they could just have X amount of money, that they'll be okay?
Well, it's funny, there's an American musician called Grace Slick, who is a musician, but also said something incredibly smart about wealth and money, saying that no matter how comfortable your bed is, sooner or later you have to get out of it. And so money enables you to have a comfy bed, but if all you do is admire the bed, you're going to have an incredibly stationary life. And life for us, for humans, healthy life is motion. We are moving through life. We are taking the things that we have that we love, and then we are expressing them through contribution. And when you realize that it's an infinite loop and that money can be a part of the way in which you keep motion happening, which implies risk, which implies investment, it implies taking your talents and actually putting them into the world, both meanings of the word talent in that sense. If we don't, it's not neutral, Rachel. It's love unexpressed, contribution unexpressed, will burn you up from the inside out, and you'll become frustrated. You'll become impatient. You'll become quick to anger. You'll walk around. We've all had that feeling. You start walking around and you're like you're in a brain fog. And you can't quite remember where your creativity went, where your quick-wittedness went. And where it went was your loves, your contribution to the world is unexpressed. You're sitting there guarding your wealth, guarding your money. You're not moving if you don't. Put something in the world, get a reaction. Put another thing in the world, get a reaction. That's what healthy life and living is.
Yeah, because it's almost like this, beacon, a mechanism, a living mechanism, right? You're moving versus just that hoarding mentality that some people have. Yeah, you don't just sit still. It's like a treadmill. You're going to end up going backwards if you're not moving forward. That's such a good point. Now, as I've been focusing on people and why they handle money the way they do, their childhood has a massive part of that. So kind of talk to me about not even just money specific, but just in general, how you find people's childhood and the way they were brought up affects them today.
We do place a lot of emphasis on biography. And yet we also have, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, older sister, younger brother.
Okay. Are you different from them?
Yes.
I have an elder brother, a younger sister. I'm in the middle too. So we are both the perfect middle child.
We are. I was going to say middle children are the best, so that's good.
We are the best.
Glad you are too.
As so defined by two middle children.
Of course. We're credible.
It's one of those funny things though, isn't it, Rachel, where you look at your brother and your sister and you go, wow, I am really different from them in regards to my abilities, my talents, my passions, but also in the terms of my success, the way in which I move through life. And so to some extent, the way in which you are brought up doesn't affect that because both of your siblings grew up in the same socioeconomic and genetic environment. And yet, clearly the way in which your parents understand fear and risk, I think it's those two things. So yes, you're bringing in your own genetic inheritance, but then you're looking at mom and dad and going, what are you frightened of? And by the way, fear is an interesting thing because if you listen to if you let them in, don't fight them, don't banish them, let them in. Fear is a really good sign to what you love, what you're frightened of, and therefore you actually risk more in those parts of your life where you feel that twinge of fear. Now, you're not stupid about it, but you use the psychology of your fear to guide where actually most of your passions lie.
That's so good. Well, I love the way you speak on that because I was even talking to Dr. Chip Dodd and he talked about how fear just actually shows you what you need too, that you're in need. What is it that you need in that moment to help you overcome that? And so many people are so scared to even have that need. So fear becomes negative and it's not. So I love even that perspective you bring around because I think it's so smart because again, I feel like we grow up and we hear these terms. Yeah, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm like, no, fear is a part of life. How you handle it is, and the outcome of that is what's important and what's crucial. So that's so good.
It's part of what your book can help with because one of the ways in which fear manifests is in the realm of money. Fear is pain for the psyche. So it helps you know what you need, what you love, where you can risk, who is the true essence of you. Like the fears of your brother and sister are different than your fears. Yes. And your fears will change and morph through the course of your life with kids and so forth. But your fears are yours. And so if you change your relationship to those fears, bring them in, then you will change the relationship to money because it won't be something that can harm you. It's not a villain. It's part of it's part of the team.
Absolutely. And almost money is like this magnifying glass into other areas of your life. So people that think that there's a fear of money, that may be true, but what is deeper than that, right? Like it's not just the money fear, it's fear of so much else, rejection, whatever it is, it's underneath that. And getting to that part is so, so crucial to be able to unpack that. And so fear for you, I know we kind of had this discussion when we were talking about a year ago, but talk about like what fear even does like biologically to us as humans, to the brain, like all that. I think it's just so fascinating because when we let this overcome us, specifically in the realm of money too, it can be paralyzing. And so that fear in so many different aspects of life, obviously it pops up, but talk about a little bit more like the psychology, the biology of fear.
Fear is designed to help us respond to threat, right? So if we start to feel frightened, there are certain physiological changes that occur in our body. Our whole body fills with cortisol, our blood pressure rises, our heart beats faster. And what's happening to us is we are getting primed for action. And what fear does, in terms of the way that the brain functions, is it is a narrowing function. Push everything out and focus on, do I run for my life or do I stand and fight? And so everything, it's a narrowing function. What it does well at in terms of narrowing is it will narrow you to what you love. It will
Yes.
narrow your focus to what you care deeply about. That's a useful thing to know because the world that we live in is so busy. Look at your life, right? You've got work that you're doing. You've got all sorts of relationships that are outside of your house that are really important. You've got 3 kids that will take, your life is a transactional life. Just stuff hits you all the time. So in the context of that, what use is fear? Well, actually, fear can help you stop the wind whipping by your ears all the time and go, wait a minute, what is super important to me? One good place to look would be the things I'm frightened of. Okay, let's look there. And so in a sense, you're using the narrowing power of fear to reveal you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So good. And to prioritize your life, right? So you don't look back in 20 years and be like, oh my gosh. So yeah, using that fear as a tool to prioritize what's important. That's good. That's so, so good. Well, Marcus, thank you so much for coming on and just chatting about all of this. I think it's fascinating. I love what you have to say. I love the work that you do. So where can people find you?
Well, MarcusBuckingham.com is a pretty good place. MarcusBuckingham.com. And then I'm on Instagram. I like Instagram better than anything else. It's just faster and easier.
So good. So great. Well, Marcus, thanks again. I so appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Thanks.